heard your cries, Guggen Nation, but too much of a good thing is bad for your health. So we're only doing this once a week. Buckle up, baby. It's time for E.T.N. Brought to you by All Pro Roofing on 1010XL.
All right, the battle lines are drawn. Before we bring in Tom Beef,
there will be blood.
Tell him what he's won.
Tommy, for his efforts today, is going to get his car serviced on us. He's getting a certificate for a free oil change from our friends over at Tire Outlet.
Tommy, our guest Guggen Judge, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, great on this chilly morning.
It is chilly.
I think it's cold. I think maybe we passed chilly to cold.
Yeah,
It was
might
nippy.
be cold,
It was nippy this morning.
All right, you know how the game's played. Beef will ask a question. Both I and my compatriot Stan will reply, and you'll say, winner Jeff, winner Dan.
You got it right.
Round
Winner
one.
Jeff, you got it.
Round one.
And you called yourself Stan.
We've
What's
entered.
happening?
It's been a few years since we've entered this fray, but we're officially in.
We're in a fray.
You know it, you love it. Flight tracking season.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yesterday there was a lot of buzz surrounding the smoke around Billy Napier and the University of Florida. Paul Feinbaum said, his concern was maybe it was some agent-driven buzz. So are you buying the smoke surrounding Billy Napier and the University of Florida?
Well, yeah, I'm buying it. It's not agent-driven buzz. He's turned down opportunities to interview and to maybe take jobs at places like Auburn and Tennessee. So Billy Napier has been biding his time, I think, smartly to prove that he's not just a 1-year, 10-win kind of coach at Louisiana. Here, I'll do it 3 or 4 years in a row. I think he's 31-5 in his last 36. He's worked for guys who know how to set up a program to win a national title, i.e., Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney. And so he doesn't need agent buzz. He's a hot guy in a year without a lot of candidates. So the interest in Billy Napier from Florida and LSU is deserved, and it's accurate.
Well, here's the deal about agent buzz. There's only one agent. It's the same agent who represents Mullen, the same agent who represented McElwain, and the same agent who represented Muschamp also represents Napier. So there's one guy, it's Jimmy Sexton. Everybody knows that. So if it's agent buzz, it's not agent buzz, it's Sexton buzz. So whether or not, so that aside, but what I've heard from the Florida side of things all along is that, now, again, who knows, right? But what I've heard all along, right from the get-go, right from the ouster, right from the day and the time Chucklebutt got let go, is that it's Napier's job if he wants it. So we shall see. And if it is, Scott Strickland would do himself smart to move quickly on this one and not drag this thing out 3-4 weeks.
May Sexton bring y'all another losing coach, winner Dan.
Round two.
Round two. I always love it when we get the national analysis of our football club, and we got some of that yesterday. You know him, you love him. Bill Barnwell.
Billy Barnwell.
Billy B over at ESPN. He did the unenviable task of coming up with, what the worst teams in the NFL need to do here for the second half of the season to have the needle pointing up for 2022. For the Jags, he said he'd need to, quote, grow consistency on offense. So I ask you.
Great insight, Billy.
Do you agree? And
Great insight.
If you agree, can they do that with the current cast assembled?
Yeah, teams can get better. Somehow you got to get better. Now, they're not going to get a whole lot better, but you can't get much worse than what the Jaguars are doing. The Jaguars can't score, man. The Jaguars can't score in a women's prison. They cannot score. So they got to figure out how to get points on the board, and however you got to do it, whatever aggressiveness you got to take, if you got to be more aggressive on fourth down, if you got to fake a punt, if you can get your punter in on time, you got to try to do that. But certainly, look, I will say this. Let's go back to the start of the season. What did we say? It's all about Trevor Lawrence and his development. So while he's not developing the last 3 weeks, that becomes a concern. We want to get back to where Trevor Lawrence is making good throws, making good reads, doing the right thing, and building on what he's established.
Beef, could you again? This is who? Bill Barnwell.
This is Barnwell.
And what exactly is the name of the call? What's he writing to describe?
It's sort of what the worst teams in the league have to work on.
You want to talk about a mail it in? I'm not even going to look at the team. Here's my answer: be more consistent. Develop some offensive consistency. Wow, Billy, thanks for taking a deep dive on our Jacksonville team and really figuring out what we need to do. Like there's any 1 or 2 win team in all of sports that doesn't need to be more consistent. How about this for Bill Barnwell's keys to continue beating a writer? Finding some specificity. Be more specific. Yeah, they can afford to be more consistent, for sure. Come on.
Winner, Jeff, because Dan was consistently weak on that.
Oh,
Whoa!
Round 3.
Ouch,
Points
Tommy.
of criticism from
Wow,
Tommy. Wow. Round 3. Last night, Monday Night Football action. The Bucs made easy work of the G-Men, 30-10.
G-Man.
When you look at the standings in the NFC, of course, the Bucs back amongst the elite. It's a pretty loaded group, though, in the NFC. So I ask you, who is the NFC's best? Is it, despite the record, is it Tampa or is it one of the teams ahead of them, Green Bay, Arizona? Here at the midway point?
Look, I'll answer it this way. If you got 4 or 5 teams that all seem like they're real similar and one can do anything to the other of the week, then don't you have to, I don't know, go with the guy who's won every Super Bowl for the last 20 years? This will be the easiest answer of any question that we get all day. It's an unequivocal answer. You have 4 teams pretty similar: Cowboys, the Cardinals, the Packers, the Bucks. All right, even the Rams. Okay, you got a bunch of teams that are good with 2 or 3 losses. But at the end of the day, you go with the one who has the proven winner, not the one who disappears from the pressure, not the one who gets injured at the end of the year, not the one who finds an excuse for why they didn't, but the one who always does. So, I mean, based on their track records, you would have to say right now, Tampa Bay would be the favorite among those teams.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Listen, it's real easy to sit there and say that it would be Tampa Bay, but let's take a look at what they've done in the last 3 weeks. First off, they beat a horrible Giants team at home last night. Daniel Jones was terrible, basically handed them the victory. The 2 weeks before that, they lost to New Orleans, they lost to Washington, okay? So not so impressive. They have had one big game this year where they took on the LA Rams and they got hammered by 10 points. They lost that game. So I think it's more of a mishmash. And right now, listen, the best team in the NFL right now in the NFC is the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I don't think they're going to be there at the end, but I certainly think the other thing you got to remember about Tampa Bay is they won last year on the road in the playoffs. Yeah, but there was nobody in the stands. It'll be a little bit different this time around. So it's wide open.
Winner, Dan, he's pretty solid there.
Yes, sir.
Round 4.
Back.
After being weak, you've come back and been solid.
Not inconsistent.
Round 4, speaking of the NFC South, not contending for the division title right now are the New Orleans Saints, who did reach an agreement with their backup quarterback, Taysom Hill, yesterday.
Yes, they did.
On a 4-year deal that is a little cloudy. It's a base of 40, could be upwards of 90-plus if he becomes a Saints starter. But, I mean, what's your read on that? Any chance he sees that $90 million, or is this basically $10 million a year for a gadget guy?
It's a wonderful move by the Saints because they give him that little bit of incentive, but the only way he's going to end up playing quarterback is if guys get hurt and left and right. I mean, all we got to do is look at who they're playing right now at quarterback versus who they had. Remember, it was supposed to be a Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston fight, right? And what happened when Jameis Winston went down? Trevor Siemian, get in there. Trevor Siemian? Yeah, that's who's playing quarterback. But if you're Taysom Hill, and the Saints want to keep throwing you millions of bucks, sure. Why not? Let's redo the contract one more time. How much more up front do I get? Thank you very much.
Wait, what? Drew Brees isn't the quarterback of the Saints anymore? No wonder I never see him on TV, and no wonder they're no good anymore. Does it matter? I mean, Taysom Hill can play punter. The Saints' window slammed shut when Drew Brees' career ended, and it probably was easing shut even the couple of years before then. So pay Taysom Hill, play him at receiver, and call him a quarterback all you want. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Winner, Jeff.
Oh.
Round 5.
Shoot.
And it all comes down to this. Sweet nostalgia back in full effect yesterday as you're reading through this list of 8 names and just images, blurry, standard definition images are running through your brain when you see the names of the New Jersey Generals and the Houston Gamblers. The USFL is back. Once again, we've got another spring football league taking a crack at it. This one backed by the guys at Fox Sports. So do you give this one any more of a chance than all the others that have crashed and burned?
When is the start date for that USFL?
That's a good question.
Let me correspond, see which Braves game I'll be watching that day. I mean, come on, baby. The world champion Atlanta Braves will be spring training here before you know it. And when this little rinky-dink, latest to come along spring football league, destined to fail, fades away by about the middle of July, we'll be heading into the All-Star
plan
break.
is for a 10-week season with 2 playoff rounds starting April 15th.
Yeah, perfect timing. Yeah, we'll just be getting started on our tour to victory after winning this year's World Series.
Dan?
What's the question, B?
The question is, does the nostalgia factor and the backing of a big corporate entity like Fox Sports give you any other additional hope that this league will survive where the others have failed?
First off, spring football. Fox backed one last year and it didn't work, if I remember correctly. But
did they back that one, or did the NFL?
I looked on Fox and there'd be a game on, and I didn't know who it was. Teams you'd never heard of. We had a Jacksonville kid here or there playing in it, so we might make note of it. But I'll say this, Tommy, take us back to the old Jacksonville Bulls days. Listen, if they had given us a franchise here in Jacksonville, my treat, I'm taking Tommy and all the boys out there. We'll sit in the end zone and watch the Bulls for $3. And, the Jacksonville Bulls were a great memory. That does take me down memory lane a little bit, man. It was a fun time back then in Jacksonville, FLA. But as far as this spring football, it's just like all the rest of the spring football teams. I think we know that.
Break out the fireball and start in a fire because Winter Jeff.
Oh, no!
Let's do it!
He bait and switched you.
He's running with his brain freeze.
Wow!
What just happened?
He bait and switched you.
Did you bait and switch me?
So get out the fireball and set it on fire.
Is that what you just did, Tommy?
Oh, my God, Tommy.
Is that what you just did, Tommy?
Savage from Tommy. Savage. Savage move from Tommy. That's an E.T.N. veteran.
Tommy.
Wow.
I'm going to take that fireball, and I'm going to douse you with it. And then I'm going to light you on fire.
That's violent.
I'm going to let you burn, Tommy. Burn.
Oh, no.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Well, Tommy, despite the bait and switch, enjoy your oil change from our friends over at Tire Outlet. We're back with more next.